what you learn from all of these plaintiffs is even though they come from all these different places, they all have something in common. They all have ovarian cancer. They got it from Johnson & Johnson's baby powder. Now, I told you in opening that you're the detectives in this trial, that this is CSI St. Louis in a sense, and that your job is to show or determine who's responsible. I think the evidence says it's going to be Johnson & Johnson, and that responsible party needs to be brought to justice. And as I told you in opening, it's an easy thing to do. We've seen it on TV. You just follow the evidence. You got to look for the motive. And I think we showed you the motive was the money. You've got to look at the means. How did they go about doing this? They did it through their talcum powder. You examine the injuries. Look carefully at ovarian cancer and what it is that causes it. And then look at their alibis and see whether or not their finger pointing makes any sense at all, or whether it just comes right back to their own doorstep. And I think that's what the evidence shows. I started it out by telling you that they had the motive. This is not the Johnson & Johnson of yesteryear. It was really nice of Mr. Biggs to put up these heartwarming slides about how this company got started by the Johnson brothers. This isn't the Johnson brothers of 1875 or whenever that was. This is a multi-billion-dollar multinational corporation traded on the stock exchange. This has got nothing to do with those fellas. It's bought every other kind of industry it can within pharmaceuticals, but it still plays on that name, and it still plays on that idea because it's going to evoke warm feelings of emotional trust. See, that's why they call Johnson's baby cow powder their sacred cow. And I told you that that would be the case, and I showed you Plaintiff's Exhibit 55 where they made it clear. Baby powder is such a sacred cow, we're just going to leave it alone. That's what this was. This was their sacred cow. Another one said this is their golden egg. Plaintiff's Exhibit 2821, one of their PowerPoints, where they talked in their business planning about how this $450 million business of this baby care, this company Trustmark, is a trust mark because mothers will associate that fragrance, and everybody will, with infancy. Over 200 million baby bottles powdered with it. And so there's this trust that's built into it. And the company noted that the trust that's given to that rolls over to everything. They'll put that Johnson & Johnson label on their hip implants because they want everyone to associate it with, oh, that's Johnson & Johnson. Not Big Pharma, but Johnson & Johnson, the company we trust. And that's what they did. They figured that this gives an emotional connection as they talked about it. Now what this does is, I told you at the beginning, they own the talc market in the United States with baby powder and shower to shower, and the evidence bore that out. The evidence bore out for years, for decades, they even owned the mines. So they had that economic motive, not to shift to the safer cornstarch, but to continue to make what they were making that was making the most profit for them that they could.